Namaste. Hello and welcome to the Kundalini podcast. That was Zen. This is Tao. I'm Vivek Govekar. This is episode 52. Today I'd like to talk a little bit about Kundalini and material success. I've got a lot of questions and people asking me a few things about, well, if I'm becoming spiritual, can I still function in this society? And I've addressed this in some videos in other ways and formats. But I need to address a deeper point because there are so many misconceptions about spirituality, about Kundalini, and what it entails and what results you're going to get as a result of an awakening. So let me clarify some of those things. Usually, people look at a Kundalini awakening from the perspective of what they have seen before, what they know before. So they have seen a guru or a swami. They have seen a Kundalini awakened person who lives in isolation for at least a few years, for the initial period when it happens. And they make this assumption that, okay, now this person is going to go away from material things and become a renunciant monk. And that is a misconception. Yes, that is one option available to you. You could become a monk if that's where the energy guides you and that's where your personal inclination takes you. Okay, remember, a lot of monks, a lot of people who wear saffron robes or live that lifestyle which seems very disconnected from material reality are attempting to gain a Kundalini awakening or self-realization. Okay? If a Kundalini awakening happens to someone who's living a material life, who's living a regular life, it is more like winning the jackpot, to be quite honest with you. Kundalini, after it awakens, doesn't put any restrictions on you on what you can do. Far from that. The restrictions have been put on you and a limited mindset, way of thinking. You can only get a job, you can only do things in a certain way. And the fears that drive you, the insecurities that drive you, are the hallmark of someone that is not awakened. And someone who tries to be concerned or acts like, oh, this person is now ill because he has had a Kundalini awakening and he's not going to be able to function in a material life. It makes me want to laugh. The awakened person looks at the entire world from a higher perspective. That includes material wealth, survival in the world, dealing with opponents and enemies, seeing through people's nonsense that are coming to manipulate you, being able to thrive in a material world without being affected by it. Mostly, people who are so-called success in the material world end up being stressed. Someone who's a stock market broker, for example, makes a lot of money, but to be able to make that money has to give a lot. Smokes a lot of cigarettes, drinks a lot, is always stressed, dies sooner because of a heart attack. A Kundalini awakened person can do all of those things better, make a lot of money in the stock market, and not have the stress that goes along with it. So it's a win-win. And unawakened people being concerned for the awakened person is like a joke, really. Don't be concerned for the person who is awakened and about their material wealth and concerns. If they want to, they can make a lot of money. But they're not driven by the same concerns as you are if you're unawakened. The other misconception is that Kundalini is an illness. Now you're going to be ill, you're going to have back pain. Yes, for some time, you're going to have some illness-like symptoms. And they're going to be drastic. But this is not a chronic illness of the mental kind or of the physical kind that lasts. That's the difference between a chronic mental illness patient, anyone, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. All of those symptoms will be seen in a Kundalini awakened person for a brief period of time. And yes, if the path is not smooth, if that person hasn't awakened in an orderly way, where all of the other purification, cleansing hasn't been done right, it could last forever if you're stuck in that stage. But In my case, I've been doing this for 10 years with the specific goal of going through this process and getting all of these things taken care of. With whatever obstructions are coming my way, treating them as teaching tools, overcoming those things and making yourself stronger. So you end up becoming much stronger than your previous self. And you learn to adapt to things better, faster. You will make as much money as you want if you just look in the direction of the stock market, for example. In my case, I got returns of, at one point I doubled my money in 1 year. It becomes easy. So no, it's a misconception to think that you can only be a renunciate monk. But more so than that, it's a bigger misconception to think that that person is weaker now. A person wearing saffron robes without an awakening, yes, that could be some weak person who's just begging and barely making a living. If you are in the position of a CEO with some power, you could think of that person as, oh, poor guy, and have sympathy for them, or think, oh, well, now he's gone in that renunciant path and he's lost his way. Oh, not with a Kundalini awakened person. Remember, there are 7 chakras. Everything that you do in the outside world is covered by one of those chakras. They are related to your endocrine glands. And as I've said in one video before, you are acting out instincts in an unawakened state and merely following the herd. With an awakening, you learn to use those chakras and their motivations in the right way, in the balanced way. So you will make money, but you won't get carried away. You will use your art, your talents that have now been revealed because of this energy, but you won't misuse certain things. You won't misuse power. You will know how to defend yourself better. So you are dealing with a much stronger mind, a stronger body that's now healthier. I'm healthier now at the age of 42 than I was at 22 because the energy cleanses you. This is one of those processes that is automatic, that is happening in the background, which you have no control over. The only control you have is what food you eat, your sleeping habits, exercise, which the energy will make you do anyways. You won't do certain things because you see the results of those. Okay? So never think of a Kundalini awakened person, except in the initial stages, as someone weaker or someone lost and not in this material world. In fact, in my case, I couldn't stand up to bullies in the past. I couldn't see through some nonsense people were throwing at me. I could get easily misled. And now I'm much stronger. I deal with those things much better. The isolation helps you because now you can focus more on your relationships. In the past, I was playing sports, watching TV. You don't see the attacks that are coming at you. Now you actually focus on those interpersonal relationships because you know that these have the potential to harm you or to help you, depending on what people you bring into your life. And then you're like, okay, some people just need to be removed. No matter how much concern they show on the surface, these are not the right people. Now, those people think that, oh, this poor guy, now he's at home and, oh, such a loss of his talent and potential. Little do they know that they're the ones who are being discarded. Because now, there is no room for them in my life because of the talents I have. Because these people will always misguide me, try to drag me down, do something harmful, bring some mischief. And that kind of control goes away. You are more clear on your goals, how to achieve them, and you just go about achieving them, regardless of what someone says, how they perceive it, whether they like it or not. It's your life. You have the right to live your life as an individual, and you live it. You become stronger at dealing with distractions and treating things as distractions, obstacles, knowing how to just go around them without actually having to deal with them head on and wasting more of your time, more of your energy. But there is no fear. There is no animosity towards those people. Again, if you have had a problem with someone, you don't then go keep trying to attack them. You let them go, you go on your own path. So, having a Kundalini awakening, if you have some fear that this will be a loss of your material instincts and driving forces. No. You could go in that path if you want to, not at the prompting of someone else, not because someone is trying to control you or shame you because you don't have some material wealth right now. You work steadily in the direction, at least I did, of long-term success. Not looking at short-term things that may make me money right now, but will hamper that long-term progress. The big picture, the big prize. And all of those things, sensible, practical, this material reality things also become very obvious to you. And there is nothing incompatible with that and the spiritual world. You are living on earth. You have to deal with regular, everyday reality. That reality cannot be bypassed. As I have said in my other video, samsara is nirvana. Samsara, practical mundane life, practical mundane concerns, and finding a higher level of those things. That cannot be achieved by being driven by fear, by what other people are saying. But those people cannot see your perspective, and which is why they are puzzled and they make their own judgments, they put their own labels. You, however, don't take those labels anymore. You follow your own path. You can see the goal in sight, even if they cannot. And that's why they cannot see it. They are not awakened. So material success is a part of it. How to deal with material success, how to achieve material success is what I've been trying to say in my videos. With balance, with an eye on your conscience, on your long-term well-being, not misusing your energy, because you know that the consequence is coming. That will be bad at some point. In the past, you weren't able to see that. So, material needs and material success is not frowned upon. That is an unawakened perspective to see a spiritual person who is succeeding and seeing something wrong with that. God wants you to succeed. There was an interesting thing that Osho once said. He said, God has made abundance in nature. See, He's made it standard. If you look at a tree, when it blossoms in spring, it is filled with flowers. When you look at it, when it bears fruit, it is filled with fruit. Now, from a human perspective, where we are very narrow, he says, if a human being had designed a tree, it would have 3 fruits. And that's how it is. You become limitless. Like there's a movie with Bradley Cooper and De Niro. He becomes limitless. That's kind of what happens with an awakening. But a limited person who's going to just put 3 fruits and see a small amount is not going to see your limitlessness or even try to compute it from their limited perspective. And if they do, they'll try to bring you down. They'll try to bring some obstacles in the way. You learn how to deal with that as well. So a Kundalini awakening is not just spirituality. It is spirituality adapted to every action. Which is why I say make every action into a meditation. This is not a renunciant statement. This is a statement of great understanding of the real world, choosing the right actions that will get the biggest reward, disregarding other actions that will bring harmful consequences or at best waste your time. And then you start seeing that it's all one. Every door is open to you. You can choose whichever door you want. I hope that was helpful. Thank you. Be well.